Hey guys, I'm back with another video. My name's Jason and thanks for watching. In this video, I have a super awesome product here. This is the ICECO VL74. If you guys haven't seen my previous videos, I have a VL45 review out there. It was one of my favorite fridges. It is super efficient, super insulated, and it's just tough as a tank. Well, after seeing that they had a larger version of the VL45, I had to get it. And well, ICECO was kind enough to send this out for review. This is the ICECO VL74, as the name suggests, as 74 liters, 78 quarts of storage. Now, you know, with a fridge this big, how much do you think you're going to be paying? Well, with a Dometic this size, you'd probably be paying around $1,200 to $1,300. For an ARB this size, you'd be spending around $1,200. And what do you think this comes in at? Well, ICECO has the price set at $800. With specials and savings, you might even be able to get it less than that. That is an amazing price for what you get. This has the super durable external metal casing. It has the CCOP compressor. You have the 120 volt input and the 12 volt input. So you don't even need AC to DC adapter. It's all built in here. We're going to go and talk about some of the features and dig more into about this fridge. But you know, I wanted to make this video because some people need a little bit more storage and they want something that's reliable but also affordable. And that's where ICECO comes right in, is that they're not super expensive, but they are super reliable. So the VL74 is just what you're looking for someone that converts over a Sprinter van to camp in or to live in. You're going to want a storage that will hold your food for 2 to 3 weeks, and that's what this will do. If you have 2 people, you could easily live 2 or 3 weeks off this fridge. But just finishing, I have just a little comical thing here. I just thought you guys would think this is interesting. This is my IMARS 20 liter fridge. This is a fridge that I purchased off of Banggood.com, and I'll have a review out for it soon. This is a budget fridge, and just the sheer size of the VL74 versus this 20 liter guy. Okay, well, I just thought it was a little comical. I had to show the size off. So this is 20 liters versus 74. And obviously this is a little bit skinnier as well. So the size this way is much smaller than the VL74, but anyway, let's go ahead and dive in a little bit more about the VL74. Stay tuned and we'll tell you all about it. I can't let my wife see all these fridges I'm buying. Where can I hide this? Let's fit in here. Maybe I can shut it in here and gotta find a different hiding place. Okay, so I'll go ahead and list some of the specs for the VL74. The capacity totals are 74 liters and 78 quarts. It comes in at a whopping 62 pounds. And the compressor inside is a CCOP BD50F compressor. Width of the fridge is 31.5 inches. Height of the fridge is 19.5 inches. Depth of the fridge, 18.5 inches. Okay, so looking at the front of the fridge, first thing that stands out to me are these nice durable metal latches. You just simply clip it on and down. The whole fridge is built of metal, and so these screws in this metal casing that hold these latches on, not going to have any problems with durability. I love the two-tone, the corners here, just to give a little protection to the metal casing. And let's go ahead and we'll look down at the control panel. Okay, so let's talk about the control panel a little bit. First off, you have this mode button and you have this power button. To turn the fridge on, you hold down the power button. Once the fridge turns on, you have a few options. You can just push this mode button once, and that allows you to change the temperature. You push the mode button again, and that gives you the max or eco mode. And you push mode again, and it gives you low, medium, or high battery protection. What's really nice about this display is it has the black background, so at night it's not crazy bright, but the green is bright enough that you can see it very well during the day. The other great thing about the VL series, at least the larger VL series, is they have the voltmeter built into the display. So I have it plugged into the wall, and that automatically converts it over to 24 volts DC. And you can see it's putting in 26.7 volts. Now, if I was to plug it off my battery, you could see what the battery level was. So you can get an accurate level of what your battery is when it's running and when it's not running. The thing that I love about ICECO fridges is that they're very, very simple to use. You have 4 buttons and it's easy to control everything on here. Coming over to the side of the unit where you plug everything in, you have this power panel. It's a really durable metal finish, and you have your AC where you plug in from the wall. You have a 15 amp fuse, and then you have your DC power where you plug in from a battery connection. Okay, I want you guys to hear how the compressor sounds from about 3 feet away. I'll go ahead and move the mic about 3 feet away. Now I'm going to move the mic right up next to the compressor so you can hear what that sounds like. Now, this fridge isn't super quiet, but I wouldn't say it's extremely loud. The compressor is actually pretty quiet. I have heard louder compressors on fridges before, but this fan is actually spinning really fast. So it's actually the fan that's louder than the compressor in this case. Okay, so looking at the side of the VL74, just the simple metal design. The thing that stands out the most on the sides of the fridge are these metal handles. These are spring-loaded. So they do tuck tight against the fridge. There's no noise that happens when this is moving because the handles are held against the side of the fridge. There are 5 metal screws that go into the frame of the fridge. I have no problems with these handles. I fully believe they will hold 100 pounds and the fridge will not have any issues. Very satisfied with these handles. Okay, so looking at the back of the fridge, pretty simple here. First thing you may notice are the hinges. There are actually 4 hinges with metal screws, and they're screwed into the metal plating. Very durable. I don't have any worries about these breaking. Most fridges have 2 hinges, but just because of the sheer size of this, it has 4. Coming down here, you can see that there are air vents. This is the back. They're also on the side and on the front. Just make sure if you're putting this in a tight area, you want to make sure that it has plenty of room for airflow to escape away out of this area. If you cover this up with like a blanket or have a cabinet too close, the fridge will overheat. The other thing that I like about the fridge is it has these all these feet on all 4 corners that they're plastic, so it allows it to slide without scratching anything. I could see that if it was metal, it could potentially scratch whatever surface you have it on. So it's good to have these feet. Not only do they protect the fridge, but they also protect the surface that it's on. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the lid. Okay, so looking at the lid, you can see it has this really nice build of quality materials inside. One of the things that sticks out a lot is this rubber gasket. Cheaper fridges have usually a foam insert. This is actually rubber. It'll last a lot longer. And that lines up right along this interior groove, so you're going to get a very nice air seal. There's also 2 straps that keep the lid from falling all the way backwards. You get the specifications and also a guide for recommended temperatures for certain types of food. Okay, so looking inside the VL74, you can see the first 2 things that stick out are these 2 baskets. Now the baskets have a lot of benefits. One of the benefits of a basket is the fridge is very heavy to move, and so if you want to move the fridge, it can easily be over 100 pounds with all the food inside. So the baskets come in handy because if you want to move the fridge, you simply remove the baskets outside the fridge, and then the fridge is its stock weight of 62 pounds. It's much more manageable. Another benefit to having the baskets is that they protect the walls and the bottom of the fridge. Inside my VL45, I dropped a bowl and it dented the metal siding. So I just recommend to keep your fridge protected, use the baskets. Another benefit to the basket is that if you happen to spill a liquid or something inside, you simply just remove the basket, wash off the inside of the fridge, wash off the containers or whatever spilled in here, and put it back in. It's very easy to clean out the fridge. Then you don't have to remove absolutely everything. So if the spill was down here, you could just pull out this basket and clean it up. One of the things I love about the VL45 is that it has a metal lining everywhere inside the fridge. Metal does a great job conducting heat, and so what happens is as the cold goes through this evaporative coil that goes around the outside of the fridge, that cold comes into the fridge a lot easier than if this fridge was lined with plastic. I do feel that's why these VL series fridges are very efficient, is that they have this metal liner. The other thing that stands out are the thick walls here. These walls are over 2 inches thick of insulation, and it does a great job insulating the contents of this fridge. Looking inside, you can see that there's 2 LED lights. There's one on the left and one on the right. If you want to turn them off, you just push down on these buttons. So when the lid comes down, it pushes down and disengages the LED. What's weird is I'm not used to this, is usually one LED is fine for a fridge, but this is so large of a fridge, it needs two LEDs to be able to see both sides of all the contents within. If you look over here on the left, you can see there's a mesh area next to this LED. That appears to be the temperature sensor. It's kind of nice that the temperature sensor is a little higher. Looking at the bottom of the fridge, usually the temperature is a little bit lower in the bottom of the fridge, and so you get a better reading if the temperature sensor is higher up. So then most of the food is higher up. You're going to want to keep that food you know, at a safe temperature, so it's good to have that temperature sensor a little higher. Overall, I think this is a great design. I love the chest style fridges. There's some fridges that have a big divider right here, but the VL series is all open. It's a chest series so that you open it up and it's all one area. All the fridge is one temperature, and I happen to prefer that style just a little bit over the ones that have a divider here that have a warmer temperature here and a cooler temperature over there. If you look at the contents here, you can see that there are 2 liters and 1 grape juice bottle. You could easily fit 4 2 liters this way, and then you can fit 3 this way. So that would allow you to have 12 2-liter bottles. That is just so impressive. This fridge just fits so much inside. I am just completely blown away with the size of this fridge. Okay guys, welcome to the testing part of the fridge. I love to test the efficiency of these fridges. I have tested over 15 of them, and there's surprises all the time. So let's go ahead and tear the numbers down. Before diving into that, let me talk about how I track it. I use one of these P3 kilowatt meters. You just plug it into the wall and it tracks the kilowatt hours used. It also tracks wattage, amps, things like that. Very useful to have one of these. The other thing is you want to be able to keep the temperature at a good temperature inside the fridge. So it doesn't matter what you set it here. You have to know what it is inside. So I like to use a fridge thermometer. And so I put that in there and I try to get it exactly where I want it, which is right above freezing. So talking about the power draw on this VL74, when it's idle and it's plugged in, it pulls 2.6 watts. So extremely low parasitic drain, not much at all. That's just power the LCD screen basically. When the compressor kicks on, it pulls around 43 watts. And that's in eco mode. And on max mode, the compressor is running at basically double speed and it pulls 71 watts. So the eco mode is for a long, slow run, and max mode is for a short, fast burst of power. So usually max mode is when you run it right at the beginning to cool the fridge down really fast, and then just to save battery life and to use less amps, because lead acid batteries do a little bit better on less power draw, you have the eco mode. So most people are using lead acid batteries, so the eco mode is going to be your way to go. Let's go ahead and talk about the 2 temperature tests. I used to test everything at 70 degrees, but I wanted more of a realistic test. So now I test at 70 degrees and at 85 degrees ambient. So let's go ahead and go into those numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and throw some numbers up on the screen for you just so you can see it and visualize it as I talk about the power efficiency. So starting with the 70 degree Fahrenheit test as in the ambient temperature, I had the set point on the fridge at 33 degrees. The total kilowatt hours used during this test was 0.615 kilowatt hours, and the duration was 41 hours long. So if we take that number divided by 41, that gives us a rough estimate of about 15 watt hours per hour, or translating that to amp hours, that gives us 1.2 amp hours at 12.5 volts. So if you have a 50 amp hour battery, or at least a battery with 50 amp hours of usable storage, that would give us around a little less than 50 hours of runtime on this fridge. Mind you that you don't have solar panels or any other way to charge it. If you do have solar panels or a car to charge it, your battery will last basically forever as long as you have some sort of fuel source to charge the battery. With the 85 degree test, usually fridges use about double power. We'll see if that's true on this. The set point was also 33 degrees Fahrenheit. The total kilowatt hours used was 0.21 kilowatt hours over 8 hours. So dividing that number by 8, that gives us about 26 watt hours per hour, or 2.1 amp hours per hour at 12.5 volts. So comparing the 70 degrees at 1.2 amp hours versus the 85 degrees at 2.1 amp hours. It is a little less than double, so it did surprise me with this fridge being so efficient. It actually is a little bit more efficient than some other ones I've seen. Giving that more of a real world temperature, 85 degrees, that's basically a summer day in the shade. So you just always want to keep these fridges in the shade anyway, but that would give you, if you had 50 amp hours of storage in your battery, that would give you around 25 hours of runtime. Mind you, if you had solar panels charging it during the day, it would last a lot longer. The main thing is you want to have storage that gets you through the night so that you can charge your battery via solar power during the day. This works great with camping if you just bring some solar panels and a solar charge controller to charge your battery. Overall, I'm super happy with the performance of this VL74. Very efficient fridge. So you could have a VL45 that uses around 10 watts and has 45 liters of storage, or you could have this VL74 that has 74 liters of storage, or that uses about 15 watts on average. So using two fridges definitely is less efficient than using one larger fridge. So if you want to have more storage, it's not better to have two fridges, it's better to have one large fridge. Okay guys, well thanks for tuning in. Just wanted to go over some final thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed the review format. I usually like to show some of the features, maybe some things that I like, explain how some things work. Just try to be as brief as possible, but also be in depth enough that someone feels like they're physically looking at the fridge themselves, so that they feel that they can go out and buy one of these and actually know what it's going to be like. That's what I try to do with my reviews. Some of them tend to drag a little longer because I love fridges and I like to talk about them. So just basically in conclusion, who is this fridge for? Well, you can go out and buy a smaller fridge and maybe that would work perfect for you. But if you really want something that's going to have a lot of capacity but is at a very good price point, this fridge is still priced well below some other competition on the market. And I feel at $800 it's a very competitive buy, especially with the efficiency, the reliability of the ICECO compressor. And so you just gotta make the decision, is it something that I need this much storage? Do I want to be able to have food for a couple weeks when I go camping? Or do I have a really large family? Or is it, maybe a smaller fridge like a 40 liter or even a 30 liter gonna work fine for you? For the longer, bigger camping trips, I definitely found myself struggling to fit everything I needed in the VL45 that I had, especially with the family size that I have. So getting something bigger like this is definitely going to be a lot easier to keep that food and not have to completely bury everything and make it so hard to get anything out. So that's one plus of going with a large fridge. I could see some downsides of this. First, yeah, it does cost more. Second, it's very large and heavy. This fits in the back of my 4th Gen 4Runner perfectly. Like there's like an inch between the seat and the back tailgate. So this fitting in here in my 4Runner is basically as big as you can go. I could not fit a bigger fridge in my 4Runner. If you had a SUV or a truck, you should have no problems fitting this back there. It does have a little bit more power consumption than a smaller fridge, but it's all relative to what you're storing inside. But I would totally recommend this fridge to someone that's wanting to save $400, $300 off a Dometic or ARB and go with an ICECO. I've been using these ICECO fridges for over 2 years. I had no complaints about them. Any questions or issues that I have had, like error codes on the screen or anything like that, I've been able to call up Lou from ICECO. I'll put the number for their phone support. You just call and leave a message. They give you a call back. That's the best way to get a hold of these people at ICECO, is to call their California location through the phone. Anyway, guys, that's about all I had for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I do have 2 other fridge reviews coming out pretty soon. Once again, it was the iMars 20 liter that I showed earlier in the video, and also I have another. I'm trying to do a couple more budget fridges as well. I know a lot of people don't want to spend a ton of money, but they want something reliable. So I have 2 budget fridges coming out. So one is a 20 liter budget fridge under $200, and it actually works great. Also, I have a 42 liter fridge that is under $300. So very good price points and very good quality. So keep an eye out for those future videos. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to learn more about there is to these 12-volt compressor fridges and anything related to them, whether it be solar or the batteries or wiring your car, I try to do lots of videos that basically all encompasses these 12-volt compressor fridges. Thanks guys for watching. Have a great day. I wonder what we can fit inside this fridge. Let's see if this fits. Wow, my Go 20 fits inside. That's huge.